Today I'm making Chipotle-style chicken street tacos, complete with pickled onions and a zesty crema. This is kitchen serious. Obviously, the chicken is the star of the show here. Chipotle uses thighs, for good reason. These are way more flavorful than the breast section and fortunately, a lot less expensive. You can buy these skinless and boneless, but you'll pay a premium, and chances are you're going to have to trim them a little anyway. So I prefer to just buy them whole and do it myself. Here, let me take you through it. Lay it skin side down and then identify the one bone you have to remove. There's the top and the bottom. Now that initial cut, I just make right on top of the bone and then slide my knife on either side of that incision. You want to keep as much meat on there as possible, so just work around and eventually you'll get to slide that knife underneath the bone. After the bone comes off, feel around to make sure you didn't leave any stray pieces of bone or cartilage behind. I'm going to save mine for stock at a later time. Now I'm going to flip it over and try to find a little space in between the skin and the meat. This is where you want to kind of tuck your fingers underneath and then slowly guide your knife under and then pull in opposite directions to try to separate the skin from the meat. It comes away fairly easily. So give that a good tug and then you'll be left with a couple fatty sections to trim off. Remember to keep your knife movement small and just trim off the fat. Now what's left is this odd-shaped chicken thigh, so I'll cut it in half right around that middle narrow strip of meat. When you separate these, it allows everything to fit in the pan a lot easier, plus you can pull out those smaller pieces that are going to cook faster. Onto that signature Chipotle marinade. I'm going to mix all this with a stick blender, so that's why I've got this container here. I'm going to put in 5 garlic cloves, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon dried oregano, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, 1 tablespoon chili powder, and if you want a little extra heat, I like to add a little cayenne pepper, and a 1/4 cup of vegetable or canola oil. Last but definitely not least, 1 small 7-ounce can of Chipotle's and adobo sauce. Now I'm going to give this a quick blend and we're good to go. Important, if you're making the crema, make sure and reserve a few tablespoons. This will make enough to marinate a large package of bone-in thighs. I like to marinate mine overnight, but if you're making these day of, go for at least 3 hours. While these are marinating, I'm going to make some super easy pickled onions. Just slice a red onion into thin pieces and cram them into the container of your choice. A mason jar is perfect for this. In a small pot, I'm combining 3/4 cup of apple cider vinegar with 3/4 cup of water, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And I'm going to heat this up to dissolve the salt and sugar and pour over the onions. If you're able, let these marinate overnight in the fridge before using. The next day, the chicken's ready to go and into the cast iron it goes. Keep your heat around medium. You don't want it too high, otherwise you'll sear the chicken and the inside will be raw. You want this deep brown sear before flipping. That's where the flavor is. Get these out of the pan and they can rest for 10 to 15 minutes. While the chicken is resting, it's a perfect time to make the Chipotle crema. I'm going to use 1 cup of sour cream here, but you can always sub in a little Greek yogurt or just use Greek yogurt altogether. To this, I'm going to add in the reserved marinade. Don't worry about salt and pepper. The marinade has plenty of flavor to carry this through. I'm just going to add a little lime juice and we're good to go. If you have a squeeze bottle for this, it's awesome to have on hand for tacos. Now when the chicken's ready, you could throw it in a food processor and pulse to get shredded chicken, but I'm going to cut mine into the signature Chipotle pieces. All that's left is to pull it together. I'm going to heat up my corn tortilla first and then add a little chicken, pickled onions, a little cheese, a generous amount of the Chipotle crema, a little cilantro, and finally, a touch of lime. I could honestly eat these every day of the week. I hope you enjoy, guys. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel for more recipes to add to your collection. See you in the next one, guys.